It was a big week for Facebook this week, perhaps the biggest and most important media platform in the world, and certainly in the 2020 campaign. They announced this week that they would not take down ads with lies put up by politicians. And that follows an internal memo that suggested that policing lies in political ads as the country prepares for an election would essentially, quote, use the tools available to us to change the outcome. Now, the subtext of this entire memo being that the President Trump, and his notorious penchant for constant falsehoods, and the executive who authored the memo discusses the social giant's political ad policy, saying, it occurs to me that it very, very well may lead to the same result as in 2016, meaning Trump gets elected. As a committed liberal, the executive continues, I find myself desperately wanting to pull any lever at my disposal to avoid the same result. And then he plays out the argument for avoiding that urge. The reasoning behind this is simple. If Facebook were to rein in disinformation, that would unfairly disadvantage Donald Trump. That's the argument. And then on top of that, in just the past 48 hours, we've seen a stunning saga involving Facebook, disinformation, and Teen Vogue. That story is wild. I want to bring in to discuss it an NBC News reporter, Ben Collins, who spends much of his time sifting through the world of online disinformation. Good to see you, Ben. So I want to talk about the ad policy. Before we get to that, it's sort of perfect microcosm of where Facebook is at. An article appears on Teen Vogue on January 8th, and we'll put up the headline. It reads like propaganda, how Facebook is helping ensure the integrity of the 2020 election. And then subhead, with the company's huge platform comes huge responsibility. And this is a sort of soft-focused, glossy interview with people in their disinformation desk, and it reads like propaganda. What happens next?
So what happens next is that people start to realize that this might not be a real article. There's no byline on it. The questions are like, how can you both be so beautiful and so great at your job? So everyone has started to realize that this may not be a standard article on teenvogue.com.
Right, because it reads like a press release or propaganda. It's this very soft-focused interview with a bunch of people who are on the sort of, a bunch of women who are on the disinformation team, and there's no byline on it, and everyone's like, this doesn't really read like an actual article.
Right, so while this is happening, Sheryl Sandberg, who's the COO of Facebook, posts this on her Facebook page saying, great article, look at this article that we have from this reporter who doesn't exist, about how Facebook is doing a great job combating disinformation. And again, I want to stress again, this article's point is that Facebook is combating disinformation. And yet, they will not admit that they paid for this article.
So it turns out that it was a paid article by Facebook.
Yep.
Later on, long after it was posted, a line appeared, editors note, this is sponsored editorial content.
Yep.
They pay for this article. Their COO, Sheryl Sandberg, posts it on her Facebook page, and they don't admit that they're paying for propaganda of an article about how they're combating propaganda.
That is exactly right.
I mean, to me, I can't tell what is going on over there. It seems to me that there's two options. There's a bunch of incompetent people at the top. There's a bunch of venal people at the top with bad ideas about the world. Or C, which seems most likely, this is a platform that's gotten too big and has too much power and is being asked to essentially play a role that is an impossible role for anyone to do.
I think it's a cocktail of all of those things. I think part of it is that people who make a good thing, and they think that they've made a good thing, and for the first few years it is a good thing, they don't want to go and talk to their psychiatrist or their guru or whatever and have them say, actually, well, you know what, this might be a disaster. That psychiatrist is not going to tell you that, and they're not going to learn from this, right? They have to come to grips with the fact they've unleashed a lot of harm in the world. And it's a really hard personal thing for executives who make, by the way, I would say dictatorial decisions across the board. Mark Zuckerberg has just decided this, and that's what it is. It's very hard for them to come to these realizations over time.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.